So good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Hi, everyone. I am Denise Arminio, and I am your Genius Biofeedback practitioner and emotion code, body code practitioner, and have Claire McIntyre here with us. And today we are going to be working with the same theme with the gut that we have been, but I would like to take a volunteer. So if anybody out there would like to volunteer, please do so in the chat. And I will happily work with you a little bit on everything that we have been working on.
Judy's a hand up there. Don't know if you can see it.
I don't see anything in the chat. Did someone?
She's got her hand up. She's raised her hand.
Oh, okay. Oh, Judy, hi. Okay, great. You're the victim today, the lucky victim. So, okay, and let me just. Connie just came in, so great. Claire, can you?
Yeah.
Your co-host. So, Judy, welcome to today's live.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have your video on? Can you turn that on?
I can. My camera is not very good on this, but
well, let me take a picture of you. If you can get back on, turn it just the other way so it's a little bigger picture, and I'll just take a quick snap for the
this way.
Yeah, just give me a second. Oh, looks so pretty.
My new haircut.
So let me just get that in. That way, if we lose you, I still have the picture. Okay. So, let me just put in your information in here. So for all of you that are new to the Genius, I'm just gonna give you a little training on how you work through a session and give a little explanation. And we're also going to do a demo scan on Judy, and she so graciously volunteered. So I'm just going to add in your credentials in here. So we start by filling in the name and the full name, and your full name is Judy, and then CAMPBELL. Okay, Campbell. And you are female. And then I just need your birth date.
23rd April. 23rd.
Oh, 23rd. Thank you.
April.
Come on, April. There we go. Year?
64.
Okay. So, and then after we add in the full name, the birth date, and the gender really is for when the Genius shows like anatomy, it will show female anatomy or male anatomy, but it really doesn't have anything to do with the scan, just FYI. So if anybody's ever doing like groups or you're doing a home clearing, it doesn't really matter what you select for male or female. So we're going to just hit next on the bottom. And is there anything specific for gut issues that you're experiencing that I can put on these notes, or?
I guess, let me see. I mean, I've been scanning myself, and so it's coming up with colon pinworms and some duodenum yeast. I've been trying to create some panels for myself off of your lessons, and so yeah, I suffer from something called lichen sclerosis. So it's hung about for about 7 years, and so I'm trying to go the bug route to rectify it.
Okay. And what are your symptoms that you would experience?
itching where you don't want it, always at night, always after 9 p.m. And it incredible itching to the point where it's possible to tear myself in a way that I can't pee.
Okay.
So it can subside and then become quite serious, and it's long term.
Okay, so it's chronic. Okay. So I'm just going to put that in the notes here. And again, those notes are just really my notes, that this doesn't affect the scan at all. And I'm just going to hit begin down on the bottom. And so now I'm going to ask you in a moment, I will count you down. I'll say 3, 2, 1, begin. And at that point, please say your full name and repeat the vowels A, E, I, O, U repeatedly until the 15 seconds is up. You ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, begin.
Judy Campbell, A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. Judy Campbell. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U.
Perfect. Okay, so I am going to play the voice harmonics, which is down here on the bottom left. And voice harmonics is basically the genius has translated what you just recorded into a frequency. I will play it because it helps. It's kind of like a homeopathic to yourself. It entrains your voice to your body. But it usually is a very low pitch, so it's sometimes difficult to hear, but hopefully we'll hear some of it. I don't know if you were able to hear that, but so now I'm just going to go on the bottom right. It says next. I'm just going to hit that. And I'm just going to hit continue. And now this is where we will use the picture that I've already taken. If you had a Quanta capsule, that information could have been pulled up from the voice page that we were just on. Sorry, I didn't point that out, but it's on the top right and it says import Quanta capsule. But I'm just going to click on this avatar here and hit existing photo. And click. Okay, guys, oh, there we go. And it has your name there even. Okay, so now I'm just going to hit on the bottom, begin analysis. And continue. And do you have a specific affirmation you would like to use, or do you want me to use the one that I usually add in?
Just use the one you would normally add in.
Okay, so that is all negative energies transmute to love. Okay, so now for anybody that has a trial, or for anyone that has never purchased or created any libraries, you will just see the 3 categories: biofield, body, and mind. I have libraries, so I'm going to click on the navigation bars that are up here on the top right hand corner, and we call it the navigation bars, or if you click on those, it will take you to your back office. Either one of those would be correct. And you can see I'm going to go to libraries here, and I'm just going to hit add to client and select all and okay. And now when I go back, you can see that libraries, the banner for libraries has been added. So I can just hit begin analysis now for that. Okay, so what the genius is telling us now, because there was the 4 groups, the biofield, body, libraries, and mind. So the genius is telling us that it's finding the greatest energetic disturbance in the category of body. And then it goes to biofield, libraries, and then to mind. Now, before we get into more detail, I'm just going to go to the biofield and click on the line for aura so that we can get our aura scan. And this would be like our before, so we can see where we are before, and at the end of the scan or towards the end of the scan, we'll look back to see if we can see any shifts in the energy around your aura. Okay, so I'm just going to take a quick picture of this. So what we're looking at here is we see what I typically look for, and there are a lot of different, like everything when we use the genius, all of the different practitioners find different ways to work with the energy, and you can't say that one way is right and one way is wrong. When we work in the quantum field, each observer, everything is going to respond differently. So, but for me, I look for bright, vibrant colors, and a pale or dirty or like muddy looking colors is really a sign of like stagnant energy to me. There are different, these lines in here coming down could be forms of different interference, negative energies that are showing up. So they're just little clues of where we might want to look at or go to. I always work with the spiritual protection libraries, so that's always getting covered, and it's always a safe bet. And as many of you know that have been coming to these Thursdays lives, that's kind of in like the whole primer that we work with the biofield and that. So I would always, always, always still continue to do that. So now I'm just going to back out, but hopefully we will see more bright, vibrant colors after working with this a little bit. And Hazumi is asking, what do we say about the vertical lines? There are different opinions on that. So I'm not going to say that any are right or wrong, because they could have multiple meanings, but it's some kind of like interference. So I would look for spiritual protection in there that hopefully can clear that up. So we will be having, hopefully working on getting a little bit more training on the auras. So everybody can look forward to that in the upcoming weeks. So that's all I'm going to say about that for now. So anyway, the next thing I want to point out is what these numbers are on the side. The genius uses a value system, a numerical value system. And it goes from 0 to 777. 0 to 100 is represented by the color blue. And that's observed to be chronic energetic disturbance. So that disturbance has been there for a while. It's also can be viewed as under energy or stagnant energy. And I just want to welcome Debbie Drake, Dr. Debbie Drake. She just joined in, so welcome. So getting back to after the blue range from 0 to 100, we go from 101 to 450. And that is the green that is represented by the color green. And from there we go to 451 to 689. That's represented, or 688, excuse me, and that's represented by the color yellow. And then it goes from 689 to 777, and that is represented by the color red, and that's going to be observed to be more acute energetic disturbances. In Chinese medicine, they may refer to that as heat or inflammation, and it is also an over energy. So when we're working with the genius, especially if you were to do a quick balance, we're looking to work on the reds and the blues. But when we drag or drop information into the main hold tray, we can expand that a little bit. And often on the areas where we want to give a little bit more focus, we can expand from the reds and the blues and add everything 600 and above, which is going to include some yellows, and everything 200 and below, which is going to include some greens. And the reason for doing that is that we find that sometimes things that are on the edge of the red and the blue, when the genius runs all its algorithms and looks at all the items in relationship to each other, that some of those yellows and greens actually will show up as highs. So we just want to make sure that we're not missing anything. On the left-hand side, we see these double arrows, and that's just an indication that there is information below that we can go a little bit deeper. So if we click on that line for minerals, we're going to see our list of minerals and then the value next to each of those to show what's going on with each of those. So where I want to start, and what I always like to start with, is using the vessel primer, and I'm going to go there in 1 second. But Judy, I just wanted to ask you before we get going, I know that you went over some of the issues that we're going to be working with, but if you could rate on a scale of 0 to 10, how do you feel right now? Like,
I would say quite good at the moment. So I'm in quite a better patch than I was, say, a week or 2 weeks ago. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say, let me pitch it at about a 4.
A 4, and your 10 was going to be not good, or 10 was going to be?
Yeah, 10,
okay.
10 would literally be like a few weeks ago, where I was in a really, really bad way. And, you know, even to basically pee, I was in excruciating pain, where basically, you know, like the itching had been so profound that, you know, I'd aggravated it to the point that that I was in a lot of pain. Whereas now it's settled, and I've also been up in I've been changing my mineral intake. I've been doing magnesium, K2, zinc, and some iodine and some vitamin C. So and some selenium, some liquid selenium. So I've actually found in the past little while some improvement from doing that. So
that's amazing. So here's an example where, you know, adding some of the physical supplements along with also receiving the energetics can actually help boost the effectiveness of the physical remedy. So that's great.
Yes, it's true. I've also been using the PMF bracelet, and I've probably been using that about, let me say, about twice a week. And I've been following what you've been doing on the Tuesdays and the Thursdays. So I've been trying to create like this primer for 5 minutes, and then running something a bit more intense with more things in it for maybe like an hour or so, and running that. So I've been trying to sort myself out, basically, even though I'm not there yet.
Well, that's great. That's really great. I'm so glad to hear that you're taking Dr. Deb's theory and, you know, learning from the practical here, and you're applying it to yourself. So that's like the goal here.
Absolutely.
So wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So now I am going to go quickly into using the vessel primer that we were just talking about. I have created that library, so just going to hit begin analysis here. I hope everybody can hear me okay and that the volume did not dip down at all. Please let me know if it has. As I wait for this scan of my libraries to complete. And I do see that sounds and color library is up here up top. So that's something that we'll look at too. So let's just find the library here. So vessel priming, and it's down at 8. So I'm just going to add all of this. And by hitting this plus button, it allows me to add all the red items instead of dragging and dropping. And I'm going to add all the yellow and all the green and all the blue. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Just wanted to see what was down here on the low. So I did add some extra electrolytes in here. It's always good to add. So I'm just going to run this quickly since we are at the time. Thanks, V. I'm going to move the timer down to 1 minute, and I'm going to select all. And I'm going to hit play here. You can see that magnesium is still showing up somewhat close to the top in there. Okay, that's weird. I thought I had it on 1 minute, but it was 0, but it ran for 1 minute anyway. And you had a 47% rectification. So that's wonderful. So I'm going to go back out now. I should have rescanned that again, but that's okay. So now I'm going to go back out and I'm going to look at the general overview. So you go to general overview by clicking on the system overview. And then the general overview is everything on this page, like expanded and then reordered in numerical order so that you can see like of everything on this front page, all your high highs and all your low lows. And we're just going to run the analysis on this. Well, parasites comes up on top for you. So, but it's showing, I know the wording is blue, so don't get confused, but it is red. So that I take that as a good sign because that's showing it's like happening in the now. And maybe that's showing you a progression from blue to red. So that's indicating like that you're doing some good work, and that's a positive shift in there. We see the emotion of grief, potassium, gallbladder 0.15, governing vessel, some sacred geometry, grapefruit essential oil. So those are just some of the top things there. Now, if we click on general overview again, it's going to take us to the bottom view. And then we have the emotion of interest is showing as a more chronic energetic disturbance, your kidney 0.20, angelica herbs. And then again, we have some meridian points in here. So we have small intestine, your spleen, your bladder, again, some sacred geometry. So I'm going to run this for 1 minute, and I'm going to hit quick balance. So we're just going to work with the reds and the blues right now. Also a reminder, water for everybody. Make sure you're staying hydrated when you're working with the genius. Okay, so 24% rectification. So I do like to see rectification of 40% and above, but because this is a demo, I'm not going to run this again, but 24%, it's still a 24% rectification, and that is a probability. So it's not, the genius is not telling us what specifically rectified, but based on all the algorithms, it's saying that you should have a 24% rectification. So I'm going to go back to the main page now. And I do just want to look at today's stress, just to give us an indication of what everything looks like. So nutrition is showing up, infection again, immune, fungus, cardiovascular, inflammation. These are all 600 and above. If we scroll to the bottom, we see virus, acid, emotional, pathogens, sensitivities, hormonal, heavy metal toxicity, which is a big one always in liver. So I'm going to clear this main whole tray. We could always add these back later, but I am going to add in the reds and blues and then everything below 200 in here. Let's go to and I wanted to look at where did we I want to go to that infections library. Where is it? Oh, here we go. And because parasites, that's the main thing that we're working on and what you're trying to clear in here, and yeast you said as well. So we'll look at that also. But I'm just going to click on the entangled insights here and let's just see which one, and we can kind of compare later to see what comes up, but let's just hit all and check. So I don't think these are the ones that you mentioned. Is it? Judy, those weren't the ones that you were seeing a lot, were they? The Bruggia Tamori and Paragonomius. I don't know what those are. And let's just add these at a 1%. We could widen this search, and as Dr. Deb always says, to do 85% and above and 15% and below. I just kind of, because we're going to go into the library and select some of those other ones, I just want to see what those say as well. And I see Deb has added something in here on the chat. So let me just read that. She said, before vaccines, consider loading yourself with bioenergetic primer full of zinc, vitamin D3, K2, quercetin, CoQ, enzymes, vitamin C, glutathione for antioxidant effect. Vaccine can cause clots. And okay, so this is more, Deb, you're putting this on here more to clear vaccines, right?
Hi there. I was just responding to her question that if she's forced to do a vaccine, can she use anything to, protect herself, since her son has already got pediatric eczema, which is an autoimmune condition. So I'm saying, give all the antioxidants, and the zinc is the remedy for eczema, and give that even on the Genius program with even other elements like stimulating circulation or DNA repair, so that you won't have any genetic interference with you with such a vaccine.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't see Pam's question in there. So thank you. I wasn't sure what that was referring. So, okay. So I'm just going to add the lime in here as well. And I'm just going to add these.
Now, the word parasite technically means amoebas and protozoas, but under this category of definitions, it seems to me that they might have included worms or other malaria or a few other things. So although I don't see a big category called helminths for worms, I believe that they're under the parasite category if you're trying to find them.
Oh, okay. Because we worked in the system overview, I'm going to kind of go straight to the libraries. And let's go to the bioterrain. And so my search is kind of messed up here for some reason. Okay. I don't know why that's happening like that. Okay, so here we are. Let's look at the parasites in here. So we're going to add the reds. And I'm going to add all these that are above 600.
Denise, it's interesting because I've got a dog and there's dog heartworm on there. And the other thing is I've travelled widely. So I wonder if some of these, as was mentioned in a previous one that you've done, I wonder if that might have played a role in how I might have acquired all of this as well.
Well, you might, but they're energies. So sometimes we do absorb an energy. So, I mean, Deb, maybe you want to speak more on that. Just having a more medical background than I have, but energetically speaking, we can, if you've had it or still have like an imprint, maybe you cleared it, but you still have the energetic imprint of it, it would still show up. So I'm just going through to kind of grab these as we see the tapeworms and the lymph in there. I mean, the flukes. There's some roundworms. And there's the dogs and cats again that you're. And sometimes it's just that the frequencies are very similar, that might pick something up. It may be close to what it is, but not exactly what it is. I don't know why my search isn't working today. I do want to add the sounds and colors in here. I'm going to add everything. So again, Dr. Deb, you're much better at working with this, but here's that lithium up at the top, which we hear Dr. Deb talk so much about, and the importance in that, and zinc and copper. When we have these parasites and different bugs coming through, I put all of them in, so we'll see if any others show up in red or blue after we. Sorry, guys, I'm so aggravated with the search thing right now. I want to look at this yeast for you. And again, let's add in everything that is 600 and above. Some of these panels are large, so the items add up quickly in the main hold tray. Judy, do you have any like digestive issues? Like, do you have any bloating or anything like that?
Not as much as I did. I think that that's improved quite a bit. I try to avoid bread and wheat now. I don't eat a great deal of sort of flour products. My weakness is sugar and lazy eating. So I'll have good phases where I'm kind of on top of it, and then literally everything will overtake my time, and I'll be thinking, oh, I'm just hungry. I'm not a foodie person. I just like not to feel hungry. So usually it's kind of grabbing things on the run, and then it all falls apart. So
Okay,
but it is better. It's better than it was.
that's so great. I have added, while you were talking, I came into the remedies. So hopefully some of these will add. I believe I have the alcoholism in here, because that's as it's fermenting in you. It's a great frequency to use. I also have ivermectin in here. And so the different dosing is coming up. And we can look. Let's add in some of these remedies in here as well for. Okay, I am going to run a balance here. now. So I'm going to go into the main hold tray, and I'm going to hit we get there by hitting this play button on the bottom right across on the white like banner. And that brings us to the progressive insights. And now I'm just going to begin analysis. So we have silver, which is always great to take. You could take that as a physical remedy. It's also, you know, here in the library, it is showing as high. Liver cleanse, dissolve and dismantle, all beryllium in the addiction center of the brain, candida parasites. So we're going to run all twice for 1 minute, and then we will run just the highs for 3 minutes. Everybody also, if you don't have your chat box up, you just may want to look on the chat box. Dr. Deb has recommended a supplement. That's a great supplement. She's added the link in there for it. So you want to check
when you're
that
dealing
out.
with children who don't swallow pills, it's easier to give them a drink. And if you're going to give them a drink, you might as well give them the one plant that had 90 different nutrients in one plant, all at the right ratio of Mother Nature. So all the transmitters of serotonin and dopamine and GABA, and all the minerals and amino acids and all the fatty acids and all the progesterone and hormones, all the thyroid support and cholesterol lowering agents are all in this one horseradish tree plant. So the horseradish cleans the spleen cleans the rest of you. So that's one drink that you can get into people of any age, of any type, and of any disease, and it cleans the spleen and liver as an adaptogen. So that's what I used for the last 10 or so years. And I find that product, Moringa Total Health, a little drink with berry flavored drinks instead of using a lot of MSG or other sweeteners. And I think you'll find that that's great for kids if you have troubles. That has tons of protein in it, and that can kill all the yeast and parasites and H. pylori and food poisoning bugs, amoebas. It's an antiseptic for many gut problems.
So that's great advice. So thank you. I'm going to have to check that one out myself from me too. I hope you can't hear this noise in the background. It's so loud here. So when this is finished, then we're going to run it for 3 minutes, and I'll jump back to see what your order looks like and see where we might want to fine tune some of the last frequencies that we're going to send you. So 30% rectification, again, that's great because there were more than 200 items here. Let's rescan and see what shows up for our highs. Susan, thank you for asking about the bioterrain libraries, and I appreciate you all being patient. We're going to be getting that to you very, very soon, just last few tweaks on it. So it'll be worth the wait. Okay, so now just our highs. We have some of that yeast in there again, so hopefully maybe we can work on getting some of that cleared up for you. Let's just run these highs here and move this to 3 minutes. Some candidas showing up again, as well as those parasites. So we're going to hit play. Sometimes waiting for these frequencies to end, it's like watching water boil. How are you feeling, Judy?
Fine. It's really tingling around my nose and mouth.
Is it? And 48%, so that's excellent. Good work. So let's now go and look at your aura and see how that's looking. And you're here. Okay, so it's still can use some work. So this is where I like to go in and use my gems libraries. So I'm going to go into libraries because those are really, I just find them to be really great on helping to break up this energy. And it also helps with grounding, and it's also showing up as needing a little attention here anyway. So it's good that we're working with this one. I'm going to use the quick zap here. So I'm just going to add them all. For some reason, I just feel like you need to work with all of them. And I will put the timer down here down to 1 minute, and we can just see what happens. And everybody, just a little fair warning, I really can't stay too over today, but if there are a lot of questions that people have afterwards that may take it a few minutes after 2, Dr. Deb is here and Claire is here and Connie. that hopefully they can answer those questions. I have my son's graduation, so I would love to stay longer with you, but I will have to like out of here at right at 2. Okay, so 27% rectification again. Let's just see how that helped. Just to give us a sense on if these are helping or not. Yes, it does look a little. Okay, it's bringing in some other colors. I still think you need a little bit more help in here. So, I'm going to also add in some flower essences now for you. And I'm going to hit quick balance on here for these. So hopefully a lot of solutions will have the same effect. You could use herbs, the Bach flower essences. So you can be creative when you're trying to look with solutions, but I really find that they're really great in really breaking up that stagnant energy. How am I feeling? Thanks for asking, B. You know, I had like a big purge that first week, but I still think I need to get into and do some more. I think that I've had this for a long time, so it's not just going to be a quick fix for me. It's probably going to take a couple of months to really see some huge changes, but I do feel better. I do feel less bloated, so that's a start. I hope that helps. And thank you for asking. And 30% rectification. Okay, so let's go back and look at your aura now. And after this, I want to go to the library that helps put in all the beneficial bacteria into your gut. We're kind of like closing it and sealing it. And that's starting to look much better. So I'm happy with that. And you know what? I just kind of want to run the minerals again. Oh, I went to the wrong one. And okay, I'm going to clear this, and I am kind of a believer of there are no mistakes. So I'm going to add the lung meridian and governing meridian here. It's in the kitchen. Sorry, guys, my graduate needed me. Okay, so I'm just going to add these, and the governing meridian and conception vessel are big ones, and they are both showing as red and blue. So Judy, that may be something you want to look at and just make sure that maybe run those frequencies a little longer on that. And then I'm just going to add the minerals in here. Where are they? Here they are. Sorry, it's so slow today. Okay, so now let's just run this for 1 minute. We're at 2:59. Would you say you still feel like a 4 out of 10, or not really sure?
I actually feel quite fine. It's quite interesting, the effects of the different frequencies. I've gone from one set of frequencies being literally making me very hot, another lot going down my arm, like electrical stuff going down my arm and then down my back, and then sort of particularly around my teeth and my mouth sort of area. So each set you've played has actually felt quite a different experience.
That's neat. And it's nice to know that you're, that you can feel it, the differences like that, the different shifts. Okay, let's look in here. We can just run this quickly, and I have to go back to that other library and then.
Notice she was so low in manganese and you corrected it. Now her purple manganese pituitary pineal colors are blazing.
Oh, yeah. That was a nice little rainbow in here. Okay, well now it comes out, but it's coming in more green and it is shifting from right to left. So hopefully all this little area is moving out. And I will now go, just to give you one more minute of, I just want to add in that bio train. Sorry, I'm whizzing through these. Where is
Notice
it?
how good Denise follows her intuition, because she's been around frequencies for so many years that she gets the feeling that somebody needs 700 range hertz, or she gets the feeling they need some gut problem. So guys, when your mind gives you a quick little trick, just jump on it. It's the universe knocking on your door. Say hello. Any kind of little tiny divergence through the woods that your body thinks is important, when your fingers over that mouse and it matches that resonance, you may be compelled to touch on that one thing that will help them a lot.
Yeah, because I really am a believer of there are no mistakes. So if you make a mistake, if you think you're making a mistake by hitting something by accident, it wasn't an accident. Go to that library. Okay, I'm just going to add in all these and we're going to hit this for 1 minute. Isn't it left to right? When I'm looking at the screen, it's moving right to left. So I think that's what you mean. And now I was just talking of somebody's question about the aura. I think that's what you were referring. Is that what you were referring to? Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. So 24%. Again, if we weren't pressed for time, I would probably run that a little longer to get that up a little bit higher, but 24% is still decent. Let's just run your aura this last time. And then I just want to say thank you in advance for everyone coming. I hope that you've enjoyed this today and that you've learned something. And Judy, I hope that you're feeling better. And we see some of the colors coming back in. I would continue to, sort of work with some of these, work with your governing vessel and conception vessels some more. I would work with some of the solutions some more. And I hope you're feeling better. Are you
Thank
still
you very
at 4?
much.
Do you still feel like
No,
4 out of 10? I don't know specifically.
I would say I've headed up a notch, but what I'll do is I'll see how I go overnight and I'll let you know.
Yeah, I
'Cause
would love that.
That will
Just
be the
email
true
me.
telling time. Yeah, I will do. I'll let you know.
Definitely. I would appreciate that. Thanks so much. And everybody else, if you have one or two other questions, you can put them in the chat box, or if Deb, you have anything else to say, but I'm sorry, I have to jump today. I have a very important place to be with my son for his high school graduation. So I will see everybody next week, and thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye for now, folks. We'll talk to you next time. If there's any questions, put them in the Mighty Networks for us. Bye for now.
Bye. Thanks.
Gloria, can you grab my, you were trying to get up here. My rhubarb? The traffic has been crazy.
Was it?
Traffic 401, it was sealed off on Young. There's like a low 5G tower.
So this is weird, all of a sudden you have really weird internet connections up here.
It was crazy. The GPS did not notify anybody, so people were doing circles around Young Street trying to get back on the highway. And you couldn't go anywhere because the highway was blocked off right now.
What?
Like right at the,
Right at those big